I think that lots of the Norwegian bands have inspirations from folk music, you know, like they have the elements of folk music. And that's ideal to make great black metal, you know. So Norwegian folk music or Swedish, or have these dancing notes, you know, like dum to the lyrics. And that's great for making good black metal.
When we are writing about this Nordic mythology, we don't mean it like the religion, we mean it like the way the Vikings chose to live their lives.
The heathen mythology and anti-Christian beliefs are not the only things that have inspired the black metal scene, but also the nature and the climate.
When you live up here, it's dark a lot of the time, it's cold, you've got big mountains, the fjords, everything is completely different. And I guess if I was living on a beach in Florida, it's hard to get so negative, I guess, lying there on the beach having a drink. You have to be really bitter to have get depressed there.
Influences you?
Like in Bergen,
like
it's raining all the time. Of course, you don't can be happy all the time. It's raining all
like
the day,
like
every day, you know. Then here in Sweden we have, like she said, we have 3 months with summer. The rest of the year we have winter or fall or
coldness, darkness. I think that affects us. Yeah.
It fits, or it sounds like black metal, you know.
The Nordic climate is very dark and it's cold, and that's a part of our music too.
It's important also to see more like the Scandinavian metal as a whole, that differs more from like American black metal or German black metal, and of those bands again. I think that there's a lot of comparison, even if there's something different between the Swedish and Norwegian and maybe Finnish bands, but they have more in common than a lot of like American black metal bands.
I think also if you go out and play in the States or Europe, you can see that the audience in Germany and Holland, and they have a very utmost respect for the Scandinavian bands. I think they have some kind of major position in the black metal or extreme metal scene in Europe, and also it's kind of exotic when we come to the States and play and people are going bananas. And so I think we've got, I don't know, the reputation of the Scandinavian music extreme metal scene is helping us a lot of doing the touring and all the festivals and stuff. It's quality, more or less.
People always talk about the soul and atmosphere in old black metal, and you can really hear that because in new bands they don't have it. You really like when you listen to like A Blaze in the Northern Sky or Dark Medieval Times, or maybe even like Battles in the North and Immortal, though it's really more rock and roll type of black metal, I think. But you feel like, or definitely Emperor, in the Nightside Eclipse, you get like, it's almost like you are like in this at night, like in the woods, and like really getting the feeling of nature. It's like something really primitive about that. So I think like it's, if you take you have Northern mythology, you had the Satanism, you had the getting away from the masses of the world, you know, like everybody follows a flock, they're in the sheep flock, they go to work, they drive the car, they're standing in queue, like, you know, they pay their taxes, and then when you're like 66, you are supposed to, like, then you can rest, you know, now you can die. So you wanted to get away from that, the whole fucking thing with social democracy, where everybody's the same and everybody loves each other all the time. And you went like into the forest, you had to leave, you know, so you went like into the thing where like, where do I come from, what am I? And then you really, that's why people don't make good black metal anymore like they did in the old days. They don't have like the really primitive type of, it's really special, it's like a philosophy that I can't explain.
The Viking era and their heathen mythology ended when Christianity was forced upon the Scandinavian people back in the 11th century. 1,000 years later, the heathen gods would return in a new shape to get their revenge on Christianity.
course is great inspiration. He has created great music for so many years, you know. So he is absolutely one of my inspirations. So.
Of course, it's in Sweden not a black metal. Bathory, you know, is like probably one of the best black metal bands.
When I listen to the music of Bathory, I get this special feeling.
Bathory, formed in Stockholm, Sweden in 1983 by the then 17-year-old Quorthon. Quorthon is considered by many to be one of the most important persons in the creation of the genre black metal. Although Venom's album Black Metal was the first record to coin the term, it was Bathory's early albums, featuring satanic lyrics and a brutal vocal style, that gave life to the beast and a new genre was born, black metal. Bathory was to inspire many Norwegian bands which extended black metal in the deepest abyss in the beginning of the 90s. The later era of Bathory, Quorthon's musical concept changes direction from the satanic side and adopted the legacy of his forefathers, the Vikings and their mythology. Quorthon died in 2004 from heart failure.
Venom and Hellhammer and Bathory did something very important when they started out. They started out very far away from the heart of black metal. And I still think that no one has really been able to touch the thing that gave life to black metal in the first place, because it takes so much. It takes intense study, and it takes far more than being passionate about the music form to approach that dangerous and abominable thing that gave birth to black metal.
But when black metal really started to take the course towards its darkest side was when Swedish guy Purring Olin, alias Dead, joined Mayhem in 1988. Before Dead joined Mayhem, he was the singer in the Swedish cult band Morbid. A few weeks after Dead had joined Mayhem, Hellhammer also joined. Together with Austin Arseth, alias Euronymous, who founded Mayhem in 1984, the three lived in an old house outside Oslo. It soon became clear that Dead had some strange behaviors. He buried some of his clothes for months in the earth and brought them to the Mayhem shows where he wore the rotting clothes. During one tour with Mayhem, he found a dead raven, which he collected and stored in a plastic bag. He would often smell the bag before he went on stage, saying he needed to inhale the smell of death.